Hey, welcome to our episode of Tuesday Night Beer School with me, Chad, of Chad's Beer Reviews, and...
Hoppy hour with Chris.
Alright, so this is a beer I actually did for this exact style like 3 or 4 years ago. It's been a while. So I thought, since you never had this would be a fun style to do in the particular beer we're doing tonight. So we're talking about fruit and spice beer. Overall impression, a tasteful union of fruit, spice, and beer, but still recognizable as beer, not like a canned cocktail or seltzer or whatever.
Right.
Fruit and spice character should be evident but in balance with the beer, not so forward as to suggest an artificial product again, like a hard monster or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
A description of the beer is critical for evaluation. Judges should think more about the declared concept than trying to detect each individual ingredient. Balance, drinkability, and execution and theme are the most important deciding factors. Especially ingredients should complement the original style and not overwhelm it. Base style attributes will be different after the addition of fruit and spices, and I expect the beer to taste identical. This is for homebrewing competitions. So like everything is based on the underlying base beer, but the fruit will often be reflected in color. And then, so I mean, it's like a whole range of like, when you think fruit and spice, like they're counting chocolate and vanilla as spices. So like when you have fruit and sweet, like even that would count as fruit and spice.
That's a broad range.
Yeah.
Ghost, stout.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it could be pretty much anything. I mean, just anything like, salt, Anyway, so the beer we're doing tonight is, I've had many times, it's from Poland. Komes Raspberry Porter, 8.5 ABV. This is brewed with raspberry juice, lagered with vanilla and chili peppers. And, they make a point of saying it's made with bourbon vanilla from Madagascar and Indian chili peppers. And this can age up to 3 years. But I don't know how old this bottle is. I can't make sense of that bottling code, so.
Right.
All right, so... I'm going to let you go first on everything because you never had this beer before, but I have, so...
Yeah, I'm curious about,
Yeah.
do the Polish know chili peppers?
Yeah. What do you get?
I wouldn't really describe it as raspberry. I would say it's more, for me, it smells cherry.
Yeah. It's chocolatey.
It's definitely chocolatey. It's like a chocolate cherry.
Yeah. It's like kind of like a cherry cordial.
Yeah.
It does have like... I mean, I can see what you're saying with the cherry, but I get like a little bit more raspberry. Are you getting like, it has a sweet smell from the vanilla.
Yeah, it's very vanilla.
And
Not getting chili.
are you getting like roasted, or coffee or anything like that? Because it is
Yeah,
a
definitely.
dark beer.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
not
I
prominent, but it's there.
Yeah, I agree. I don't pick up on the chili pepper either.
No.
So let's check the specs. Varies by taste style. Fruit and spice character should be noticeable in the aroma. However, note that some fruit and spices are more distinctive than others, clearly.
Raspberries and cherries.
Yep. Allow for a range of fruit and spice character, intensity from subtle to aggressive. Hop aroma may be lower than in the base style to better show, especially... Yeah, we didn't get hops on this at all.
Nope.
Special ingredients should add an extra complexity but not be so prominent as to unbalance the resulting presentation. It's kind of...
It's a very... I don't know. That's not very... It's a wide range.
Yeah.
So I would just probably score it high.
And like they said based on like what they're going for and like, under, like the description is everything. So like, they're calling this raspberry, vanilla, and chili.
Yeah.
And neither of us got chili
we
on the
get chili.
nose, but otherwise it is right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to still go pretty high on this one. I'm going to give it a 10.
I was going to give it a 10. Yeah.
If that chili was in the nose, I would give it a perfect 12.
Exactly.
All right, so appearance, it's a porter, so it's, dark brown.
It's very dark
Yeah.
and murky.
It did get to a bit of a foam, but it fizzled away like a soda. It's hard to tell because it's so dark in here, but it's fairly clear.
You think so?
Yeah, it's not... Like, when I was pouring it, I didn't notice any sediment or anything.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just kind of a bummer that the head didn't stick around.
Yeah, that was gone quick.
If you really look, you can pick, like, some reddish out... But, yeah, which the raspberry might have induced, kind of a reddish...
Like a dark red. It's
Yeah.
very dark if it's there.
Yeah. All right, so let's check the specs on appearance. Varies by day style, especially, we know that. Lighter color beer should show its distinctive ingredient colors, including in the head. The color of fruit in beer is often lighter than the flesh of the fruit itself and may take on slightly different shades. Variable clarity, low haze is generally undesirable. Some ingredients may impact head, that was definitely true with ours. I don't know, To me, it's why not give it a perfect 3?
Yeah, it looks like a porter. It's 3.
Yeah. All right, so we get to the best part. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. It burns. Is that the chili?
Yeah, that's the chili.
Okay. I didn't know if it was the chili or the alcohol.
To me, it's just like chocolate up front. Yeah, chocolate up front, and then the raspberry in the back.
Really?
Yeah, because the raspberry is definitely a little bit more tart than a cherry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's got like a little bit of tartness off the raspberry juice. And the chili pepper, just like with the nose, to me is very subtle.
I wouldn't describe the chili pepper, well, it burns. But it's not spicy in your mouth. It kind of hits you in your throat a little bit after you swallow.
You must be more sensitive to pepper than me.
You eat spicier stuff than me. It's possible.
I guess, but... I mean, if we let this warm up, I mean, maybe we're doing this too cold. Once it warms up, I think it'll come out more.
We'll have to save some a little bit.
This would be a good beer to, even though it's fruity, it's a good beer to do with like a steak or Chipotle, something like that.
A steak, I could
savory.
say. Yeah, kind of like replacing a glass of red wine with a steak.
Yeah. Or if you're going to do it for dessert, I would do this and just like plain cheesecake or plain vanilla ice cream.
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't describe this as being extremely sweet, though. It's not sweet. Do you think it's sweet?
It's sweet, but it's not decadent. It's also not especially bitter.
Well, you said decadent. I was going to say it's kind of rich, though.
I would say it's rich as far as like in complexity.
Yeah. So not sweet for me, more just rich, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has like a deeper depth of flavor than like if it was, hard, ready to drink cocktail or something like that.
Yeah.
Because they could do that exact same thing as a hard seltzer. But like this is a real porter.
They could add chili to a hard seltzer. Because it just kind of gives it that little zing at the end.
Yeah. I have had this beer many times before, and I've always liked it. I would say like this is actually like the least chili flavor that I could, because usually it's like right there, and I can barely pull it out this time, so this bottle's probably old.
Is that why the head kind of went away really fast?
Probably that, or, from... I can't remember. I had to look at past photos to see if it held a head or not. I don't believe it did. Anyways, we're going super long. May have to cut some of that out. All right, let's talk about flavor.
Yes.
Whoops. Varies by base style. As with aroma, distinctive fruit and spice flavors should be noticeable. It may range in intensity from subtle to aggressive. All right. I mean, so they give you a range, but
yeah,
I think like there's definitely like too subtle and too aggressive, like as far as like the chili pepper and all that.
Yeah, I've had that.
Fruit character should not be so artificial or overpowering. Suggest a spice fruit, like we were saying, hard seltzer.
Mm-hmm.
Hop bitterness, flavor, and malt. Should be appropriate to the base style, but harmonious and balanced. Fruit generally add flavor, not sweetness.
There you go.
Since fruit sugars usually fully ferment, thus lingering the flavor and drying out the finish. However, residual sweetness is not necessarily a negative characteristic unless it has a raw, unfermented quality. Some ingredients may add sourness, bitterness, and tannins, which may be balanced in the resulting flavor profile. Yes, the tannins is what I always get in cider, but I rarely get it in beer. So, as far as score, I'm like the same on this as I was with the aroma. Like it just, the chili pepper just aren't there. If they were there, it'd be perfect. So I'm gonna go 17.
I mean, I am sensitive to spice, so for me the chili pepper is definitely there. So I'll go a little higher. This is close for me. I'll give this one a 19.
19?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about mouthfeel.
It's a full for me.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of like it's on that border between medium full and full.
Yeah.
It's not quite as thick as like a Bourbon County.
It's almost there. So it's kind of reading full for me.
The alcohol, I think, kind of thins it out, dries it out. It's not super highly carbonated. It's kind of...
It's not really carbonated at all.
Yeah, I mean, it's not flat, but... I'd probably say medium full to full body, low carbonation.
Yeah.
The aftertaste is like bittersweet. It's like spicy and nice chocolatey, you know.
Yeah, as it's warming up, I feel like it's getting more chocolatey.
By the way, I forgot to mention, this is 8.5 ABV. Are you getting, like, I mean, you mentioned burn, but do you think that's chili burn or alcohol burn?
I think so, like, probably. Because I didn't realize it was that low.
Yeah,
So it's got to be chili.
I'm getting, like, just like a faint alcohol burn.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it could be a combination of the two, but either way.
Maybe
low alcohol burn is always good.
Yeah.
But low pepper burn, not always. That's funny.
Yeah, the chili makes you think it's actually a higher ABV.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
All right, let's check the specs on mouthfeel. Varies by base style. Fruit often decreases body and makes the beer seem lighter on the palate. Some smaller and darker fruits may add a tannic depth, but this astringency should not overwhelm the base beer. SHVs may increase or decrease body. Some may add a bit of astringency, although raw spice. That's basically what they said in the flavor. It doesn't say, like, what's appropriate as far as, like, you know, thickness.
What is that, SHV?
Spice or vegetable.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's like you're basing it... This is why I love at beer competitions to judge the specialty style, because you're basically how much you like it.
Yeah.
Within reason.
Right, because it's so open.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a, you know, high ABV porter. So it has that big mouthfeel, low carbonation, smoothness that you want.
Mm-hmm. I think it's there.
I'm not going to give it a perfect 5, but I'm going to give it a 4.
I'll give it a 5.
5?
Yep.
Overall, if this is fresh, I think this is a 10. I think this is a perfect 50-point beer, but we got an old bottle, and you're always judging what you have in front of you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go pretty high. I'm gonna give us an 8.
I will give that one a 9.
9.
How?
Yep.
It's a 4-point difference.
42, 46.
Yeah. I mean, considering the categories are so broad, because it is a wide net, it's easy to score this one kind of high.
So, student, what did you learn tonight?
Well, I learned that the fruits should not contribute sweetness. They're really just supposed to contribute flavor, which I feel like this one, personally, I feel like it did.
I think the other big lesson is that they're defining spice as, like, pretty much anything. So, like, chocolate and vanilla count as a spice. That's why you can do a fruit and a sweetness, and it still counts as a spice beer.
Right, so it's not just the pepper, which you would assume, but...
Even coffee is considered spice.
Oh, wow.
All right, well, thanks out there for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.
Somebody brewed it. Chad just reviewed it. Thanks for watching Chad's Beer Review.
Trust me, the next episode will be a lot better.